Hello, folks, and welcome to Fey Earth. My name is Neil. I am the designer and creator of this indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. Our game is set in the year 1872. It is in France, a France that is recovering from a pretty brutal war it recently had with the Fey Kingdom of Arcadia after allying itself with Prussia in what they thought would be their chance to fight and attack this Fey Kingdom, which has been one of the dominant powers in Europe for 1,000 plus years, because the king of Arcadia had died and his son had taken over. The first change of a monarch in this kingdom in centuries. They were wrong. So our players have been traveling around France, often acting as emissaries between humans and Fae, and right now they find themselves in Paris. But rather than tell you all, how about one of our players? And Tendai is not here with us tonight. Unfortunately, she's not well, so someone else will have to give us a recap of our last session.
Me, because I wasn't even here. So no.
Um, I'll give a recap. I'll try to. It'll be my first one. So, in the last session, we had agreed to help out a favorite patron of ours, Madame Gaultier, to go and investigate a group of men that she had hired that had told her to come meet her at a very shady area of town in a warehouse. After we tried to learn as much as we can about the warehouse, we eventually went in to face them. That altercation did not quite go well, and not only did it seem shady, and the items that they had found seemed to be from an occupied Fey mound, it did result in us fighting them, even when we did try to go the safe route before things went on fire. And now we are at the scene where some of the men have fallen, the others have escaped. Vedus is outside of the warehouse screaming, and the rest are still inside, and the constables are on the way after all of this noise and ruckus. And in a moment of panic, Vedus had contacted Madame Gaultier asking for help.
Okay, so you get 1d8 inspiration die that you can use once for any role in the game. So, you've heard Ferouz shouting outside for help. Okay, the men that you've been fighting, two of them are dead, and three of them have fled.
Okay, I think we should go look in the crates. I'm gonna specifically the one that wasn't there that was there when we returned.
I'll help.
Where am I at the moment? Am I close to the exit?
You are the closest to the exit.
Okay.
Justine is also pretty close. As far as I remember, Sylvia and Gwyn were at the other end of the warehouse.
No. I was
Okay,
way
sorry.
down with the other.
Then
I was way
Gwyn,
down with
Gwyn
the
was
other.
at the other end of the warehouse. Okay, so Gwyn, you
Well,
had-
in that case, Mina, I will go out, and I don't know how far Ferouz is, but Mina's gonna run after her and try to get her to like, come back in.
So, well, as you
Kind of
immediately
drag her back inside.
run out, Feyruz is right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gwyn, I assume you're running up to the rest of them. Yes, as Sylvia.
I am going to meet Sylvia and rummage through the crates and just grab whatever is there and put it in my goblin purse.
Yeah, cool. So you,
Specifically,
yeah, Sylvia.
just the first. I want to look in the one that the crate that you said wasn't there.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
So you open up the crate it's not like nailed shut. It's just the lid's just on it, resting on it. Okay, it's a small crate. Okay, not especially big. Okay, and opening it up, you see three items in it. Okay, you see a stone. So this, as I said, was a very small crate, maybe like 40 centimeters by 25, 30 centimeters. Okay, bit of straw on the bottom, and in it, as I said, you see a stone, a very, very pretty small grey stone. Looks like it could easily fit into a child's palm. and looks to be made up of some mixture, sort of a mixture of quartz and maybe amethyst. Okay. You then also see a pair of finely crafted leather ankle boots, simple decorations of swirls and floral motifs on the sides. Also looks to be maybe footwear for a child. So these are very small, very, very small shoes. Okay, probably too small for any of you to wear. And then you see a pair of rings. These are finely crafted silver rings in the style of the Irish clatter ring. So that is a heart with a little crown on top and a pair of hands clasping it. And there's a beautiful piece of garnet set into each heart.
Just pocket everything for the moment, I think, in the goblin purse. Yeah. And Gwyn is also going to set the straw on fire.
Is there anything in the other crates? Actually,
if you want to spend time, the other crates they appear to be like nailed shut, so you'd need a.
Oh, okay, never mind.
There was that magic spear that was shooting lightning at you as well.
Yes,
the body of the dead.
Yeah,
spider.
Mina can grab that and help you, and I'll help you and put the rest in the goblin purse there, like as much as we can. Like, yeah.
Okay,
does the sorcerer have anything?
Okay, well, just give me 1 second. You want to search his body?
I do.
Give me an awareness roll.
Oh yeah, we should take any kind of personal items off the bodies as well.
Yeah, but I want to see if he's got any cool shit. Ooh! Sorry, so I rolled an 18, and that is for me.
That's good.
My awareness is 1 or 2. It's 1. Okay, so that's a 19.
Okay, so he has a bit of coin on him. Okay, so it's he's got like a small bag, and there's some gold and some silver and some copper in it. I mean, you could take the time to count it now, or you could just.
No, I'm gonna basically give to Gwen, put her in her goblin purse.
Okay, and then you do find another item on him that was in his pocket, and it's a very, very fine piece of. It's a funny looking. It's a stone of some sort, very fine stone. Looks like maybe a ruby set in silver, but it's not like a. It's not like. It looks like maybe it could be worn as a brooch. It's too big to be worn as a cuffling, so maybe it could be worn as like a brooch or as a pendant.
Okay.
Okay. So did you come inside with Mina?
Yeah, the same time so I would have immediately come in, and then that's when Feroz would see that the man had died, because Feroz didn't know this. It's like, what happened?
Well, there was a fight, Feroz. We must go.
Okay.
I can try to cover our tracks, and yeah, like I said, Gwyn is going to start setting fire to all that straw on the bottom of the crates.
You strip the sorcerer, Sylvia, right? And I'll do the other guy just to kind of make sure.
Well, I'm not going
not
to
just
take
what
his
he has
clothes
on him, as in
just the contents of his pockets and things.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You search
but
for the fighter,
I just,
do you?
yeah, but I'm. It's not just that I'm looking for particularly cool stuff. I'm also trying to find anything that might identify the guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Any kind of personal things I can find. I just take.
He has a small pouch yet again with some coin in it, but he doesn't appear to have any other personal effects on him.
Cool. So nothing that could identify him. Grand, fantastic.
Nope. So Gwyn, you can use the arcane spark cantrip to set the straw on fire.
Can I also fireball some of the walls?
Sure, of course you can. Now the walls are made of stone, not wood.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a warehouse, you know.
The crate.
So it's not flammable.
There's wooden rafters, obviously, for the ceiling.
Yeah, go on. I'll
fire.
set fire to the rafters.
So you
Could be more on fire. Come on.
At the roof.
Okay. I would just tell everyone. Okay, I think we should just get going.
Yeah. You turn invisible and we leave.
Yeah.
Who else can turn invisible?
Mina, I can turn you into an animal if you would like.
Oh yes, that's fantastic. And you turn into a cat. Are you well enough to do that? Looking at Gwyn.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be fine. You go. I'm going to try and bring down the roof.
So,
And then I look at Justine and I'm like, you can turn invisible as well, can you?
I can launch your illusion on myself, can I not?
yes, you can do that. But
Yes, you can do that.
You
Perfect.
do not know the invisibility. So now, the thing is, just give me 1 second here. I'm looking at the wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong Book of Shadows. Where is Feyruz's Book of Shadows? I just want to check the spell description again. Yeah, so you can cast Feyruz. You can cast invisibility on yourself, but on other willing targets if you have enough mana.
That's what I was going to ask you, if I could do multiple, because I do have 24 mana left.
So then you could in theory cast it on everybody else in the party except Aminata, who has a ring.
Yeah,
I'm happy to. You don't have to cast it on me. I'm gonna change. I can change. I'll change Mina.
Honestly, I will. I am not even going to ask. Even though you are an animal, you are now an invisible animal.
Okay.
Double this better
invisible
than
rat. Mina, are you going invisible or are you going to be turned into
whoever gets to me first? Honestly, Mina doesn't mind at this stage. She's like, you need to get out of here.
Okay, well, if Feyruz casts that on Mina, Sylvia is just going to turn into a rat.
Okay, and Feyruz, you cast on Justine as well?
I'll cast on everyone because I believe, given that it's a reduced cost for me, not even factoring in the level up, I can get everyone.
Oh, easily, yeah. Obviously, Aminata has her ring, so she's already.
Oh, then I won't bother with it because.
Okay, super. So you cast invisibility, and you go out, and as you're coming outside, you see a constable's wagon coming, charging around, horses being driven at speed, as 5 big burly 19th century Victorian era constables with fabulous mustaches all jump out, go racing in, and as soon as they race in, they start crying out fire, fire, and blowing their whistles. You're all invisible, of course, so they don't spot you. Okay. Now, as you're slowly walking back, you see another carriage coming in your direction. This is not a constable's carriage. This is a very, very fine carriage, which, Gwyn, you immediately recognize as the carriage of Madame Gaultier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you see there's a single figure, young man, probably mid-20s, short, slight build, wearing very, very fine linens, a very expensive looking overcoat of a very fine black wool decorated with white gold wool trim on the threads, very fine leather gloves, and you see him wearing a pair of glasses, the lenses of which look as if to be made of silver.
Okay.
As he comes around,
Jesus.
Some of the constables see the carriage, but they're more worried about the warehouse that has gone on fire and the dead bodies inside that they're slowly trying to drag out. As he comes along, stops in front of you all, smiles, nods his head, and with a gesture, the door of the carriage opens.
I will.
Great.
Okay, I'll use lesser telepathy just to be like, can this be less obvious, please?
The constables are one or two of them are looking around and this is kind of weird, but none of them approach yet because there's dead bodies and a warehouse on fire thanks to a pyromaniac witch.
You're welcome. Thank me later.
Blamey McPyroface.
Yeah, but that's a good distraction in all fairness,
Yeah. Any fucking.
I'm more worried about the fire than anything else at the moment, so that's fantastic. Yeah. We get inside, I suppose.
Just jump
Get
right
out of
into
here.
the carriage.
Yeah.
Right, do you all get in?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay, you all get into the carriage. Okay.
O'Neill,
Yes?
just to make it doubly sure, I did grab the spear to open the crate, and I did put that into my purse.
Oh yeah, no, you did tell me you have the spear. Okay. So
I wasn't sure about that.
the door closes behind you, and the coach driver, he says, "Hold on, mademoiselles, this will be a fast ride." And with a crack of the reins, the carriage lurches forward at speed. Okay, the carriage is cantering forward for a few minutes, and he says, "Things are going to get interesting, ladies." And you feel the strangest sensation. Are any of you looking out, or are you all
Yes,
just kind of keep
Mina is looking out.
So, Lena,
Well,
you're Sylvia.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, because we lurched forward, my Dax is only 1, so I'm going to assume that Sylvia kind of slightly falls on whoever she's beside. Just
Are
kind
you
of.
are you in human form or animal form?
I opted to not bother if Feyruz was casting
Okay,
invisibility.
cool, super.
So
So, Mina, you're kind of like looking out, not necessarily like a golden retriever head out the window, you know, but you are kind of looking in the direction.
kind of what I have in my head when I imagine being in a carriage. Though.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
was-
a
you
little
are
bit
the
like that.
one who like got the serious head injuries before in the carriage, wasn't it? You, Mina? Yeah.
That was because
It was.
she heard
Just
the
trying to
fairy
jump out,
dance. It
join
wasn't
the-
because she was
yeah.
being a golden retriever.
But so
Yeah.
this is what you see happening though. The carriage is cantering along at speed, and he turns it, and it looks like he's about to go straight into the side of a building. At the closest thing that you can call a gallop when horses are pulling a carriage. So he's gone at full speed straight towards the wall of one of the warehouses, and as the horses should be about to hit the wall, probably killing themselves and maybe all of you, you see a shimmering of the shadows around the wall as the horses pass through, and you feel your bodies lurch as you are pulled through the shadows as well inside the carriage. And you have the most incredible 20 minutes or so of a carriage journey as the carriage seems to be leaping from shadow to shadow through buildings, cutting across Paris at this breakneck speed due to this magical ability to move.
Wow.
Until finally,
Whatever this is, I want one. I want
until
one.
finally he pulls up
Sure,
in
that
front
doesn't
of,
feel very comfortable.
he finally. Oh, by the way, the invisibility spell. What's the duration on that again? I don't think it's.
Oh, it's worn off probably now, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, a little more.
But
Only a few minutes.
The duration is special.
Oh, actually, it's a bit. No, it's 10 minutes per magic, and you got a magic of what, 4 or something. So actually, it
Yeah.
would last the whole time. Okay.
Oh.
I will not. I will forget to drop it when we reach.
Okay. So he eventually pulls in front of a house. Gwen, you recognize this house as Madame Gaultier's house. You've been here before. Okay. The carriage pulls up. He gets out. He gets out of his chair and pulls open the door and gestures with his hand out. Still wearing these glasses with silver lenses as opposed to glass. Gesturing with his hand out to whoever's the first to alight.
Thank you very much for the ride.
Of course, mademoiselle. And he takes your hand, can see you, 100% can see you, even though you're
Glasses.
invisible. You recognize
Yeah.
these glasses because you gave a pair of identical glasses to these to Madame Gaultier.
Yeah.
Only today, wasn't it? Or was it yesterday? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yesterday, I think.
Today.
I think it was yesterday. So, yeah, they look like, if they're not the same glasses of true sight that you just gave to her, they're very bloody similar.
Yeah.
So he alights, he helps each of you out of the carriage, walks
Oh
up
yeah,
the front-
Mina stumbles out. I'm sure that wasn't a very comfortable ride.
No, it was at speed.
I kind of felt a little bit going through those shadows, right? So, and Mina, after I suppose getting some injury, so she kind of stumbles out and just kind of goes towards the next bush and just goes. "Ah!"
Sylvia doesn't take his hand. That's
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Just stops down.
Oh, Mina.
Sylvia is going to
Weird.
wander. Sylvia kind of wanders over and just gently pats her back. Like, you're
Mhm.
okay.
There, you'll be fine.
You're fine.
I'm like, oh, I hate this weird kind of warping kind of blah, blah.
Yeah, there are magics that you can travel through the shadows. I've only heard about them,
So
but
Oh my god.
sorry, Justine, you have been looking into the sphere of twilight, as have you, Farouz. Yes. So you both know of spells that allow you to slip through the shadows, moving from one shadow to another. So you're familiar. You are both familiar with these kinds of magics. Um, you've never heard of a carriage enchanted with this, and Farouz, you always knew that Madame Gaultier was an incredibly accomplished artificer, but seeing this, you're like, damn, that girl is good, and she
Bloody
keeps it
hell.
close to her chest. You've never seen anything
Bloody
like
hell.
this before.
At the
So,
moment, Feiruz is a bit too frazzled to
yeah,
appreciate it, but like leaving the carriage, she would just. I mean, we're all still invisible because Feiruz
yeah,
forgot was a spell up.
yeah.
But we'll look at the carriage. Huh? Oh, murder. Right. Let's go inside.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get off the streets. Good idea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the coachman, he leads you up to the steps to the front door of the house, and he opens the door for you all. You come in, and he calls out to Madame Gaultier. Madame Gaultier, I have returned with our honoured guests. As he waits you all to come in, and then he says, "Excuse me, mademoiselle," and he goes back out to take the carriage and attend to the horses.
Yes.
A moment later, Josephine Gaultier comes into the hall, looks, gestures. There's a flash of silver across her eyes.
I'm sorry. I just dropped this.
Okay. She's looking at Amanada, who's still invisible. And Amanada takes the ring off. Well, she doesn't take the ring off. She actually she turns the ring. That's what activates the enchantment. Well, I'm glad to see you're all safe, that you're all well. I got your message, Firouz, obviously, and that is why I immediately sent Jerome with my carriage to get you out of there safely. Were there?
Yeah, I am afraid that they were not respectful and they attacked us.
I
Yeah.
was worried that these pigs would do something stupid like this. How many of them did you kill?
Two.
Two.
Oh well.
The other three got away.
If it had been me on my own, I probably would have killed them all. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to actually. Well, you know how it is. We were faced with the
I
choice,
know.
them or us, and we chose us. So,
I
this
know.
is how it
Well,
goes.
unfortunately, when you are dealing with men, a lot of men, the only language you understand is violence.
Yeah.
This
So
is the
true.
problem. This is the problem. They are not as sophisticated as us. It is not simple.
I'm afraid we tried to cover our tracks by burning down or by setting fire to the warehouse, so
She
that
looks at
distracted the
Gwyn when you
police.
say that. She's like,
Mina
Me?
just notices the glance and just goes, mm-hmm.
yeah. um,
Wasn't
Anyone?
my idea, I can assure you.
I think
It was definitely mine.
so. Let us retire to the drawing room, and I'll get us some sherries to calm the nerves.
Yeah, actually, that would be appreciated. Also, that carriage ride was quite something.
Oh,
Ooh,
did you like it?
You must tell us all about it.
not necessarily after a fight. I'd like to try it out when I'm actually,
Well,
not injured.
normally I use it as my mundane form of transportation, but it has got a few upgrades, if we shall say, so that if I need to get from one place to another quick. Paris is a very large city, as you know, which canonically in the 19th century, Paris was
It
still
Was already big.
one of
Yeah.
the biggest cities in Europe,
Yeah.
certainly in the Western world.
I'm
Even
just
swallowed
remembering
Montmartre at the time, and it was still huge.
people are kind of fact, basically, so I would like to heal.
Yeah, of course. So you all return to the drawing room, and a moment later, a maid comes in with a beautiful silver tray, and she has some glasses of sherry on it. And behind her comes another maid who's carrying a tray with tea for you, Farouz, because Madame Gaultier knows that you do not consume alcohol. So she didn't even bother. She was like instantly, the staff here, like I think this has probably been the second time you've ever been in her house, because you weren't like, you were her employee, you know.
Yeah.
But she does know, even working with you in the shop, that you do not drink alcohol. So she already has. It's a very lovely. She said, "Oh, you'll like this. This is a new jasmine that I just got in from the Far East." So you all get your drinks, and she's so.
I really want a jasmine flower tea right now. Oh.
Sorry, honey, we're all
I
out.
know, same.
We're all out.
Same.
Oh man.
So the important thing is that you were all safe.
Yes, and they were absolutely awful, and they really thought perhaps that they might be able to pull a fast one. They wanted to renegotiate as far as they could possibly renegotiate. The curious thing is they said that things got very complicated and that it was a occupied payment.
But they said that it was a tougher job since they realized.
Because the Feymount was occupied, that's what they mentioned. Yeah.
Oh, or did they say it was occupied?
Also, how is everyone? Gwyn, how are you? You got hurt very badly. And Farouz, you too. You got your leg got hurt badly, didn't it?
Yes.
It did.
But I'm alive, and
So I'll be fine.
Sylvia is gonna start healing people. I'm gonna spend.
Thank you, Sylvia.
thank you.
I'm gonna spend. Actually, I have quite a
Christine,
lot.
how are you
of that.
feeling?
Okay.
So how much damage did you take?
On the scale of 1 to
On the scale of 1 to 10, I didn't take that much damage actually.
That's there you see hit points, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
literally, it's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I only took like.
It was
Gwyn who was
Farouz and
most,
Gwyn
it
and
was
Mina.
Gwyn who got really, and Mina a bit as well, because
Yeah, how much down am I? Does anyone know?
I think it was like 20 grit
Left or 20 grit down?
Yeah.
down. You lost 20 grit.
You took a critical injury, Farouz, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
I got a critical injury.
Yeah. After Gwyn shook the fireball at them, they all decided they didn't like her the most.
Okay, I'm going to spend 6 mana healing Gwyn. So that's 2 plus 4 is 6. 3, 9 plus 4, 13 points.
Thank you.
And I'm going to I might spend 6 on Farouz as well, just because you also got
You had
hit.
the critical injury. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a major crit, so thankfully. So that's 2, 4, 5. Okay, so that's only 9 points.
I only lost 1 grit, but I don't know what that means for the injury.
But you took a critical injury.
No, it was definitely more than that, because you took a critical injury. It was like from the
You did,
injury,
yeah.
It was like 15 or 18 great points that you lost.
But if you got healing, that should be fine. The crit should be fine now.
Yeah, the injury. Once you receive once you take a major action to bandage a wound or receive magical healing, the injury that you get from a crit is, if it was a minor critical injury, the injury is removed.
Okay.
Major critical injuries, which happen if you roll a 10 on your D10, then you roll for major critical injury. They're a lot more serious. They require, they could, like, depending on the injury, they could be anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks of rehab or 3rd level or higher, much more powerful magical healing.
Okay.
So, Mina, I'm going to heal for 4 mana because you're tough.
Thanks.
So
Oh yeah, no,
you'll be
I
fine.
appreciate it.
No, but I know you'll be fine. So it's not like I'm not gonna.
Did anyone else get injured at all, or is it just 3? Did you get injured, Sylvia? Justine, are you okay?
I
mean,
took the
how
damage.
is she
There is no need to
Oh, I did.
Because I blinked away.
Did. I'm
Oh,
fine.
you did? Oh, clever girl.
I'm fine.
God, how is everybody? Now the first shock has kind of worn off and the adrenaline is gone. How is everyone feeling?
Sorry, there's 8 points, Mina.
Thanks.
I think I'm a little overwhelmed now, so maybe I'll answer you tomorrow.
You will be fine. You just need to sleep. You're not used to it.
No, that was, let's just say, the most adventure I've had.
So, Madame Gaultier sips her
Yeah.
sherry while Sylvia carries out her healing magics on you all, and when she sees you're done, she turns to you all and says, "So, as I said, the important thing is that you're all safe. Now, I don't mean to be crude, but regarding the items that these idiots had claimed to have gotten for me, was there any sign that they had them in their possession?"
What was it you were looking for?
Well, it was like with yourselves. They were going to a site to explore in the hopes of finding treasures, magical items, So it was not that they were going with the task of retrieving a specific item. It was rather exploring a Fey site in the hopes of finding enchanted items that they would return to me. Just like the job that I gave you all recently, just north of Paris.
I hope you do not think it impertinent of me to ask, but did you know that the Fey mounds they were going into was occupied, or?
No, that's quite a shock to me. I thought it was abandoned as yours was.
I
You're
see.
sure?
Of course.
And
Well,
what are your
Sylvia-
sources?
It's usually a combination of local lore and stories from those in the areas, as well as maybe discussions that have been had amongst Fey scholars and academic circles as well. Like, it's not like there is a directory, of Fey
That's true.
mounds, but it's a combination of different things. Like you have many
Maybe
stories.
they
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Maybe there were Fey there. Maybe the Fey had left and then had returned. Or maybe these men were just lying in the hopes that they could try to get more money from me or keep some of the items for themselves. I mean, I had been a little bit worried when I'd hired this group of men, but there's not many with the skills that your group and that group have. So unfortunately, in my line of work, you don't have a lot of choices, and it used to be that a lot of the time you might find somebody who had a couple of years of military experience in the army, and she kind of looks compassionately and gently at Sylvia as she says this. Many of those who had been soldiers and had left were called back up to military service during the war, and as we know, most of them did not return.
Yeah, well, and those that did probably don't want to go again, so.
And the last thing a soldier who just fought against Arcadia wants to do is go somewhere that they may find themselves facing other Fey.
Or a dragon.
Or a dragon. Well, I wasn't planning on sending anybody to face any dragons. Thankfully, there aren't any, though if the rumors are true, maybe they will be returning to these lands.
They're not rumors, they're true.
Well, that is terrifying, because how do we know they won't decide to make their new homes in the forest and mountains? And besides,
I would be more concerned that they may decide to kill us all, to be honest with you. At this point, Sylvia just picks up her sherry and knocks it back, puts it back down, and just...
Mina's just looking at you kind of like mid-sip, kind of like...
What?
Sylvie, I really want to hear why suddenly dragons have come up, but maybe not right now. Maybe now we can finish up whatever we found.
We don't need to, we definitely do not need to tell that story.
Did the men, and I'm sorry to be pushing on this so much, did they give any indication where they might have been keeping these items?
Sylvia's just going to look at Gwen.
There were crates in the warehouse. They were nailed shut.
I see.
And maybe currently on fire.
Well, if they are powerful enchanted items, they should be saved from the flames.
Yeah, there is also, but there the gendarmerie is there, so they probably find stuff.
I have friends of influence
Oh,
within
good.
the Paris Constabulary.
So that wouldn't be an issue. Okay, good. Yeah.
No, in fact, if you
Yeah, I'm afraid once it all kind of got really confusing and we had to kind of leave as fast as we could.
I know, I understand, of course, I understand.
We
Yes.
didn't want to actually have to kill any of them, but they didn't give us a choice.
Yes.
We did find, and Gwyn, as just a token gesture, she'll take out the stone.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, okay.
and gonna read the room. Do we want to give her anything else? As Gwyn is reaching into her purse, are people like, no, no, no? Or are they like, okay?
No, Mina's kind of like, okay, but kind of willing you to kind of, yeah, but that's it.
Very much also, like, I want to know if she knew. I don't believe she thought the famine was
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
unoccupied.
not sure either. Like,
What
yeah.
Well, I mean, if
ring?
someone, I mean, this is a bit of a retcon, but whenever you're in a social encounter with somebody and you think they're lying, you can give me an empathy roll. That's awareness or charm.
I don't.
You can just say, "I want to do an empathy roll," and if you have the
Insight.
empathy, if you have the empathy talent, which is an awareness-based talent, or you can roll charm. If you have the behaviorist skill, that's a skill that you've trained in reading body language and reading facial cues and intonation.
Yeah, I mean, not about ones to do that. Like,
Yeah,
Aminata doesn't have that skill. She has the conversationist skill, which is the other side of it, where you have trained in language, so you have the bit of the gift of the gab. You're a great speaker, but she hasn't taken the behavior.
And a great liar, like, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
be a great liar as well.
I'd like to do an insight check, although my awareness is shit, but like, you know, you never know, I might roll well.
Yeah,
if that's okay, I'll roll one. Neil?
Yeah.
If that's okay, I'll roll one.
Oh, yeah, sure. Just to remember in future,
18.
You're pretty sure she's telling you the truth.
Yeah, I only rolled a 15, so.
Yeah, you're pretty sure she's telling you the truth.
And from Fedus' side, Fedus just is just kind of waiting to see what everyone does, because Fedus didn't really see what was grabbed and what was put.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
So Fedus wouldn't be able to have any input even silently.
So
how does she react to
Gwen,
the stone?
You hand her the stone, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you hand her the stone.
And as I do, I'm kind of looking at the group to see, if anyone's giving me signals to be like, yeah, go on, hand her over the stuff or whatever. Because Gwen doesn't have enough like intellectually. Well, I'm gonna do a roll if that's okay.
And try and read the room. Mina's literally willing you, like, that's a good kind of, goodwill, but that's it. Don't give her anything else, like, kind of.
Okay, that's a 13.
Mina doesn't have telepathy.
You're not sure.
50-50.
So she
I'll hand over the stone. I see Mina kind of like giving me the eyes, and that's it.
So she takes a stone and she gestures with her hand to there's a little side table, and you didn't spot it before, a pair of these very strange glasses. They look almost like opera glasses, but not quite. Get rise up from the table and float over to her. And as you get closer, you see they're these very strange glasses. They've got like lenses with a slight telescopic feature to them, and then there's other lenses that are off on hinges that look like you could press them down over. She puts them on and she also starts like, and she's like adjusting the lenses, like, oh, interesting. Oh, I have not seen one of these in quite some time. Oh, very interesting.
Wizard.
This is.
If you don't mind me asking.
No, of course. This is a quite rare. This is quite a rare item. They're referred to as a stone of resolve. They're made by various different types of Fey. And essentially, what they do is, if you take the stone and hold it in your hands and focus on it for a period of an hour, you kind of gain a bond with the stone. Okay, and after you've done that, you gain benefits. You become immune to spells which would enchant or affect the mind. So spells that might cause you to fall into a magical slumber, to frighten you, or to make you lose your senses and wits. And you also become better able to detect illusions that are cast in your presence.
Oh, interesting.
So
That's quite
this was one of
intriguing.
the items that they had on them, was it?
Mhm.
Oh, well, if you do not mind, um, she's kind of like gesturing at the stone.
I believe it's yours.
Thank you very much, my dear.
What do you think? I have no objection to you keeping it, my dear.
Thank you.
Well, you know, if these men have not been dishonest pigs who've, you know, I don't want to be crude, but they were going to probably attack you and strong arm you into.
Absolutely. Why else would they arrange a meeting in such a place? You have a perfectly good shop where
I
they
am
can meet you
sure
otherwise,
that
yeah.
you would have been more than capable of managing the situation, but
They didn't know that.
Well, I think, as I said, I think they assumed because I am a beautiful woman that meant that I was weak.
men
Oh,
usually
yeah. They
assume,
always tell you that.
Yes.
they'll always assume this.
Mm. And
I saw it a
So
lot when I was in jail.
question for Mina.
yeah.
Did Mina, when she picked up the spear, did she look like she really wanted to keep the spear? Because like Gwen is
Oh, God,
basically
yes.
not
Oh,
telling,
God, yes.
that's kind of what I picked
She
up on.
definitely said, like, she
And
was like, looked at me with a
terrifying
glint
to
in her
like
eye,
But that
like, that's
wasn't in the
fine.
crate.
Yeah, it
No,
wasn't.
That wasn't part of the deal.
well, you don't know if the
Uh,
spear was something that this guy already owned or had found in the Fey Mount and was keeping
Well,
it for himself.
exactly. We don't know. So, you
So,
know.
anyway, so she offers you another round of sherries. It is getting quite late, and she's aware that you're tired. And she says, "I can arrange for Jerome to bring you back to Amanata's house. If that is where you're staying.
Thank
And
you.
Feroz,
Thank you.
I can of course arrange for Jerome to bring you home to your rooms as well, because you have your own place that you've been staying in. You've been in Paris for some time now. So you obviously haven't been hanging out at Amanata's parents' gaff.
So,
One last
as you
question,
asked,
madam, if you don't mind.
Sorry, Mina.
Yeah, one last question about the dead bodies and the gendarmerie. I don't know if if someone saw us going in, going out, we were invisible, but yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be any legal repercussions or legal consequences
I
to this
didn't see
whole affair.
Raymond myself, if that helped.
Well, Mina does have quite a striking appearance, unfortunately for herself. She is not very inconspicuous because Mina does have the
Green hair.
green hair. Mina, do not worry. As I said, I have trusted friends who are high-ranking members of the Paris Constabulary. First of all, the police will probably not waste a lot of time on these men. They were not
Mm,
wealthy men who had connections and power and influence, so they will
I
probably look
suppose not,
upon it
yes.
as thugs getting killed in a dangerous part of the city by other thugs. They
Mm.
will probably maybe even assume that honestly, if it was me, I would be more worried if I was the owner of that warehouse, because the most logical assumption is for the constabulary is that these men tried to break into the warehouse to steal from it, and that the owner and his men stopped them. That's the
Yeah,
most logical assumption.
yeah,
so
yeah,
just
yeah,
for
I see. So yeah, that makes sense.
There is.
for full disclosure, when I had a bit of a teleportation mishap and ended up outside, I don't know if I was seen.
You may have been seen. It's a dangerous part of the city. Not many people walking the streets at night, and it's poorly lit. It's not like the areas of the Seine around Notre Dame. with
Yeah.
many fairy
Yeah.
globes lighting the streets, and that was true. There were some fairy
That is
globes
true.
on the streets,
That is
but
true.
like, if you're around Notre Dame, there's like one every 2 meters versus like one on the corner of every block in the area where you were, so it was just
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
a lot darker.
Yeah. 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 Makes sense.
I
Yeah.
would not worry. As I said, I have influence within the constabulary.
Thank
That's
you.
good to know. That's reassuring. Well, thank you so much. And yeah.
Feyruz, get some sleep. You will feel restored in the morning. Don't worry about it. And don't feel guilty.
I I don't feel guilty as much as I feel overwhelmed, which I think is fine.
Yeah. Go and sleep. You will be fine.
Yeah.
Well, if you
So
are all okay, I
before we
think.
move on from the
Sorry.
scene,
Yeah.
I just kind of want to bring up a chance if anyone wants to decide what to do with the items, because I and Feyruz are not part of that.
Gwyn, to be honest, would kind of happily hand everything over. She just knows Mina really wants the spear, but I'm also terrified. So.
Sylvia is aware that Madame Gaultier is incredibly powerful and doesn't want to say anything because she knows she's not a good liar. Helena?
Maybe if I can inspect the items first, because I have detect magic, and see what they are, what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what I'm thinking. Let's go home first.
yeah, let's go home first, and then we'll make something up, or we just say it is as it is. Like, let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you go back out.
We leave.
Jerome is there waiting for you all with the carriage. He doesn't use the shadow jump ability on the carriage this time. He's now going at a normal speed because he wasn't trying to get
Mina's
around
quite
as quick
happy,
as he
but-
could. Yeah. Fairuzi drops you home first, and then he drops the rest of the party to Aminada's parents' residence. Okay. So when you get back in, what do you want to take out the items and try and examine them? Justine, you have a bit of mana left, don't you, Justine?
I have the whole mana thingy.
Oh, you still got like full 30.
Well, question: did Ferouz want to stay with the party and stay over in Aminada's?
I think for now Feyruz would stay back at her place, but she
Wants her own bit. Yeah.
But she would have said that she'll come by early tomorrow.
That's what I assumed. So
Perfect.
you lay out the items. Okay, you gave the Stone of Resolve to Madame Gaultier. So the spear, the boots, and the pair of rings. Okay. The first one, the spear, is a Spear of Thunder. This is a very rare item. Okay. It is, as I had said before, a beautiful, intricately decorated bronze spear on a dark oak shaft. The spear is a +1 weapon which ignores non-metal armor. So leather or like armor made of natural materials, it just pierces through it and ignores it. Okay, if it's mundane, if it's enchanted, that's different. Okay. As a major action, the wielder can use the spear to send forth a blast of lightning and a cone 15 meters long and 5 meters wide at its end. Anyone inside the area must succeed a Dex Acrobatics with reflexes with a target number of 21. On a fail, they suffer 3d8 plus 3 points of electrical damage and are paralyzed for 1 round. On a success, they suffer half damage and are not stunned. And the spear has 3 charges of use per day, and it recharges each day. Okay?
Yes.
So this is a very rare item. That's 3 power points.
This is like, I think, what I hope.
This is what you basically want Albert to be.
Yeah. This is what and as long as Albert is in the workshop getting an upgrade, I can use this instead. That's fantastic.
Okay. So the next item is the boots. Okay, and unfortunately Tendai is not with us tonight because she would be very, very excited by this. Well, maybe not. These are a pair of goblin boots. While appearing child-sized, they will grow or shrink to the size of the wearer. When worn, the wearer gains a +2 bonus to stealth and acrobatics, and furthermore, they do not leave any tracks regardless of the surface upon which they are traveling. They can also walk across slick or greasy surfaces without any fear of falling.
Nice.
Also very rare.
Okay, so
Ooh.
Aminata wouldn't be able to
She
use it
wouldn't be
yet.
able to wear them yet because she has the legendary ring, which is 6 power points. Okay, and then the last, which is the pair of rings. Okay. Intricately carved silver rings in the style of the Irish claddagh, with a beautiful piece of garnet set in the heart. The wearer of each ring will automatically know if the wearer of the other ring is in danger or in a state of extreme distress. They do not allow the wearer to know the feelings and thoughts of the other, but if one wearer is extremely sad, scared, anxious, or a similar powerful emotion, they will know. Also, if the wearer of one ring is attacked and injured, the other will immediately know, and their garnet stone will turn black. The rings do not work if one wears in the other realm, and these are rings of heart's bond, which are rare.
The boots are handy. We can keep them, and whoever has anything stealthy to do,
The
because they seem
thingy
to
I
change
took
size.
from the sorcerer.
Sorry?
The thingy I took from the sorcerer.
It's a mana receptacle.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Didn't you just buy one?
I did.
Yeah. Sylvia has one. Feroz has one, and Justine has one.
Oh my god, Gwen doesn't have one.
Gwen does not have it.
Gwen
Now,
wants
however, mana receptacles are very rare. So what
That's
items
right.
do you currently have?
I have Moondust, Comb of Cleanliness.
No,
Ring of-
Moondust is consumable.
Consumable doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm just going through the list.
It's
Ring
common.
of Deflection, Bracelet of Armor, Fairy Glasses, Goblin Purse.
Okay, so fairy glasses are uncommon. Okay, and I think the other ones are ring of deflection is rare.
Ring.
The ring of deflection
was-
is. Oh, sorry, no, you don't have a ring of deflection. You have a pendant of shielding.
Bracelet.
No, pendant.
The thing you're talking about, the thing you got from the
the
trio
pendant.
of witches in the Fey realm, yes?
I forgot about that. Yeah, of course you have that.
That is that the thing you're talking about, yeah?
No.
Okay.
I think I bought this.
Oh, you must have, because you also have the pendant of shielding, which I think is common actually.
do. And you have a shield
That-
bracelet as well, don't you?
Or no, it's
Common.
uncommon. The pendant of shielding, that's the thing you got from the trio of sisters. That's uncommon. Okay, I think you did buy a ring of deflection. The bracelet of armor is rare, and the ring of deflection is also rare. So that's 2 each. So that's 4, 6 already. And
7 for the pendant.
Goblin Purse is also rare. So the pendant is 1. Okay. So the pendant was 1. The fairy glasses was 1. Okay. The Goblin Purse is 2. And the Ring of Deflection is 2. Okay.
Yeah.
7.
So...
No, that's 6.
6. Okay, so you're at 6. You are 7th level. You have just gotten to 8th level. Well, after your long night's rest, you get to 8th level. But unfortunately, a mana receptacle is very rare, so that's 3 power points. So you would need to be at 9th level or drop one of your items to be able
Take
to
something
use the
off,
mana
yeah.
receptacle.
I will drop the Ring of Deflection because I haven't used it yet.
Okay, right. You could give it to someone else if you want. Maybe someone else could use it.
Can we carry them in our Goblin Purse? Our extra items?
Yes, but if you want to start, like, in combat, if you want to start swapping stuff out...
You have to swap them out, yeah.
That kind of stuff, I'm going to say, would be your major action.
That's
to take
total
one
major
item
action,
out
yeah.
and to bring another...
Yeah.
So that's your turn gone for that kind of thing.
You're better off moving stuff around, like, to be honest, you know.
Yeah. So...
Cool. Well, I'm going to
Okay.
drop the Ring of Deflection for the mana receptacle.
I think the
'cause
most
that's way more important.
The most important question we need to ask right now: who which 2 members of the party will be wearing the rings of Heartsbond?
I'm gonna take the mana receptacle, and that is me tapped out. Sorry, don't care about anything else.
Can we maybe
Oh,
put
sorry,
them
the spear is
into?
mine. I picked that up.
Justine?
Can we just put them in the goblin
Absolutely, you can
purse
put them in a
for
goblin
the
purse.
moment, and
Of
then
course.
when we're going to like
Totally.
split the party at some point
Yeah.
and do something shady like we always do,
Yeah.
we can give it to members of the party. Yeah.
Or if one of our party members found that they were getting deep feelings for another player or NPC, they could give it to them as a token of their affections.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I agree. We just, pack it into one of the goblin purses and leave it. Same with the
Yeah.
boots, I'd say. We can whenever somebody does like a stealthy kind of spy mission or something, recon mission, that we can dish the boots out because they change
Yeah.
size.
Yes, they do. Okay, well,
Oh, I had a question.
the party having identified the items, very tired, head to bed for a long night's rest.
Last thing, Neil, I
Yeah.
just want to heal because I'm actually down to 50 mana.
Yeah,
Or
of
sorry,
course.
I'm down to only 50 grit.
Yeah,
So-
you spend whatever mana you have left, however much you
Yeah.
wish.
But I'll do
I
that
would like to do the same.
when I go to bed away from everybody else because Sylvia's not admitting that she got hurt.
Yeah, so you do all that and you head to bed having a long night's rest. Mechanically, out of narrative, you have all leveled up, which we can be dealing with. We won't be worrying about in stream, and we can talk about that privately. But right now, this is a perfect place to take a pause in our story. So, thank you all. We will back to you in 5 minutes. Okay, we'll be back to you all in 5 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. We promise we aren't going anywhere. Okay?
Fey Earth is a tabletop.
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation in the morning.
Are real, have always been real, and live openly alongside humanity. It is a game based heavily on folklore, in which the Fey and magical beings depicted are as they were described in the original stories from whence they came. This means, when you play Fey Earth, you will find yourself coming across many creatures whose names are very familiar, but whose appearance, personalities, and powers are very different from what you might be used to. It is a world, however, in which the Fae have developed alongside humanity, and while in many ways they are similar in how they appeared in fairy tales, in other ways they are also advanced in a similar fashion to humans. This means that as well as finding fairies and dryads living in nature, you will also find centaur cavalry and dwarven riflemen. The world of Fey Earth is one in which most people try to avoid the Fae, treating them with a healthy respect at a distance. But you will still find people who wish to adventure, exploring abandoned Fey mounds, hoping to find treasure and lost magic. There are 2 playable lineages in Fey Earth, a mundane human and the Fey Touched. These are humans who have Fey in their ancestry and who carry some of this magical blood in them, which grants them minor magical abilities as well as physical differences to other humans. There are also 7 playable professions in this game. As you explore the world of Fey Earth, you will find parts of it that are familiar to our historical 19th century, but other areas that are original. These include Fey nations such as Jotunheim in the north above Norway, Sweden and Finland, in which can be found the dark-skinned northern dwarfs, as well as the ice giants and trolls. Jotunheim trades with human nations, exchanging their lumber, dwarven steelworks and other products for food and goods that are not so easily obtained in the frozen north. As well as the Fey nations in Europe, within human civilizations you will find Magitech, the merging of machines with the arcane, both to help drive this new industrial age, as well as the everyday lives of ordinary individuals. The artificers of human towns and cities spend their days making magically powered devices for both the capitalists running factories and the housewives and labourers of society, although they will also make items for adventurers who have enough coin. Fey Earth uses a simple D20 system, similar to other popular D20 tabletop role-playing games. It has a very simple set of mechanics with 8 ability scores. Your score in an ability is your modifier to your dice roll, as well as other modifiers for having relevant skills and talents. This creates a very simple set of mechanics using flat modifiers that is easy and quickly learned. Fey Earth classes. The Druids, who learn magic through their connection with nature, are especially skilled in dealing with the Fey and also specialize in a specific element for which they have a great affinity. When they are performing magics using that particular element, they are even more powerful. The Mystics. These religious spellcasters gain their connection with magic either through praying to their gods or through their connection with ancestral spirits. The Mystics also have access to a wide range of magic, though many become gifted healers. Mystics often take a sacred vow, through which they try to better guide their own actions. These vows grant them additional boons and spells. The fighter is a profession which seems simple on the surface, but is one which provides a great degree of customization. Fighters specialize in combat feats. These are special maneuvers they train in, which they can use in combat to tailor their actions, allowing them to cause greater injuries or deflect attacks against themselves or their allies. A fighter's chosen weapon develops as they do, its power increasing as the character advances. The Gunslinger. In this late 19th century world, guns have become a very important aspect of combat. Gunslingers are highly trained fighters who specialize in the use of firearms. Gunslingers learn additional skills, allowing them to perform a wide range of special maneuvers in combat, making them master ranged fighters. The Sorcerer. Sorcerers are the academics of the magical world. While druids and mystics will train with their religious orders, most sorcerers learn magic by studying it in universities or by becoming an apprentice. Sorcerers view magic like a mathematical science. They often learn new spells through experimentation or research, though this may lead to magical mishaps with temporary or sometimes permanent effects. The Rogues are a mixed profession, skilled in subterfuge and stealth, but also able to handle themselves in a fight. Unlike other professions, when playing a rogue, you can choose at a higher level to take a specific archetype. This enhanced training gives the rogue additional skills, talents, and feats. Alternatively, there is a Shadowcaster archetype, which gives the rogue access to spells from the spheres of Twilight and Chaos. The Witch. While a magical profession, unlike other spellcasters, witches draw their magic from physical objects, using plants, herbs, household materials, and even animal parts in casting their spells. Witches are also able to make amulets they can use to aid themselves or their allies. The amulets have a variety of functions, though most provide various forms of protection or defense. As the witch grows in power, so too do the amulets they create. We hope to have sparked your interest, and we look forward to welcoming you to this world of folklore, fairy tale, and magic. Welcome to Fey Earth.
Oh, God.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to Fey Earth, our indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. When last we left our heroes, they had been rescued, perhaps you could say, by their employer, Madame Gaultier, who had sent a very, very fabulous and literally magical carriage to collect them from the site where they had found themselves fighting a rather unpleasant bunch of men, two of whom they killed, in a warehouse that was now being surrounded by constabulary and was slowly going on fire because of our pyromaniac witch Gwyn. They were whisked away to Madame Gaultier's house, where they had a conversation with her. She explained how these men had been basically thugs, had been trying to essentially screw her over, thinking that she's a simple, pretty woman and not someone we need to worry about. they were not completely honest with respect to the items that this group of men had obtained from the Fey Mound that they had been exploring. They did give one item to Madame Gaultier, but kept the remaining items for themselves. And then when they returned to Amanada's parents' residence, Justine, using her abilities as a sorcerer, then cast the detect magic spell on the items to detect what they were. A number of very rare magical items, a very powerful spear, which can send out a bolt of lightning at an enemy up to 3 times a day, a pair of enchanted boots, which aid in stealth and acrobatics and agility, leave no tracks when walking over any sort of terrain, and keep you sure-footed even in greasy and slippery terrain. And a quite lovely pair of rings of Heartsbond, which when worn, the two wearers are essentially aware of each other's feelings, will know when the other person is happy, sad, or in danger. They had a long night's rest, have leveled up, and now we shall return to the story. So, Ferouz, you get up, you make yourself your breakfast that you have. Always kind of missing the food from back home. You've tried as much as you can, but it's just not the same, you know. You do miss the cuisines that you've grown up with.
I imagine like Ferouz probably didn't learn how to cook till she left on her own, and then tried to recreate the recipes she missed through a very long series of trial and error. However, I will to kind of liven up the mood. I do want to head there early, but first I'll grab something quick from the market on the way, and I would want to make breakfast over at Amanada's for everyone to have a good meal together before we decide what we're going to do.
Okay, right. So you get up earlier, you head to the market, you pick up some items, and you get to the house. So the rest of the party, as you all get up coming down, expecting, because Amanada's house is a pretty nice house, there's maids and cooks, expecting that you're hearing conversation coming from the kitchen. And a few moments later, the maid and Ferouz come in with a selection of food. So Ferouz, what do you cook?
I would make shakshuka, which is eggs that are cooked in tomatoes. So the eggs get poached in the tomato sauce. And given that this is France, I would find whatever cheese works. There's an option to add on top for anyone that wants. And generally, it's spiced, not spicy, just spiced. Bell peppers, tomatoes, and the sauce, and the eggs in the middle. And there's some bread.
Oh my god.
And
Getting hungry.
So Sylvia's not like this, but I am hungry in the morning.
I'm
Just
really hungry. I'm getting hungry now with all this talk of food.
I'm just going to be so excited to try something new that she's never tried before.
Yeah, and as everyone wakes up and says, "There's breakfast. Come eat quickly before the eggs overcook." They're a lot nicer when they're still a little bit gooey in the middle. A few might not be so gooey. I'm not perfect at it, but come eat. And
you don't need to tell me twice. Yep, great, amazing. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Neil. What date are we on? It's like the 28th.
Oh, sorry. Just give me 1 second. I'll put up the calendar.
Be the 28th for now.
Okay.
Apologies. It is the Wednesday the 27th.
27th. Okay.
No, okay.
It's Wednesday the 27th.
Okay.
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 So, right, you have a fabulous breakfast.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
After the bit of small talk and all that, and the breakfast, Peter will go, "Well, what is the plan for today?"
I have to say, I'm very nervous that we did not tell Madame Gaultier the entire truth. She has ways,
I-
I'm sure.
Yeah, see,
Figuring-
I assumed that we were going to tell her because, I thought she would be able to, I don't know, read our mind or know immediately if we were not being honest, but she said nothing. So,
But I don't know. I don't know what happened and what we found, but what reason do we have to not tell her?
My only reason for keeping these from her was I knew Mina probably would want the spear. And I just wanted to be sure we were all in agreement of what we hand over.
I mean, maybe we can ask, like, we tell her that this is everything we found. We don't know if the spear was his or not, but maybe,
mentions the spear.
or I don't know, but like we can bring up the boxes if you guys got them. I don't know did we get to everything?
Of the
2
crates,
boxes we couldn't open.
some of the crates were nailed down, so we did not take the time to try to open them.
So Justine knew exactly what had been in the warehouse because she'd been looking through the eyes of Anklegon, her dragon familiar who'd been hiding in the warehouse. So she'd known which crates were there, and then there was a new crate that was there when you went in to meet the gang, and that was the one that wasn't pinned, nailed down. The other ones, the older crates that Justine had seen had already been there earlier in the day. They were the ones that were nailed shut.
Okay,
I doubt that they would have. Sorry.
Yeah, Justine?
Yeah, I doubt they would have left any valuable magical items there without supervision. So
Yeah.
I assume those other crates were just a way to potentially distract whoever comes for them.
Or whoever owns the warehouse, maybe.
Or they actually
Or
belong.
or
whoever-
Yeah.
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 Makes
So I have a question, so slightly unrelated, but not unrelated because it is a magical item that we got. There is the question of the book, the Tome of the Sage. Gwen, I think either you or myself, it would increase our magic. What do you think?
Oh, is knee frozen?
Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, my audio cut out for a second. Sorry, were you saying something?
I'm asking about the Tome of the Sage. Do you want it or will I take it? Is what I'm asking you, basically.
I'm happy with the mana receptacle if you want to keep that.
Okay. I will take the Tome of the Sage then.
You want to read it?
Yep.
So just to
I
be,
have another question.
sorry to interrupt, Mina. Just to clarify on that, with the Tome of the Sage, how it works is that you spend 100 hours reading it over a period of no more than 7 days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I remember.
So you know what you have to do now.
Yep.
So that's
yeah.
that's a minimum of just over 14 hours per day spent reading.
Yes,
So
I'm aware.
yeah, so 100 hours divided by 7. So
It's-
you're basically
I calculated
you're
it.
just flat out for pretty much the entire day every
You
day.
sit
for
down
a
and read.
week.
Yeah.
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 You
What happens if
see,
you missed
You
a
sit
day?
down and read.
you seem remembering preparing for exams being just like, that's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we just seen, innit?
I arranged flowers and then I shot people and now I am here. So this is new for me.
So
Looking at
Um,
Scared Rose, just going to say, I was a soldier in the army. I didn't
Read that much.
I
Yeah.
I wasn't happily murdering people. Sorry.
Don't worry, that wasn't what I assumed. I understood from some clues that you might have been a soldier, but thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
I know
well,
things taken out of context.
It's actually fun to enjoy when we go out of context.
I'm more used to fighting beasts and giant kin, especially, than people. So yeah,
Yeah, giants are people too.
yeah. But
They aren't
humans as
creatures, you
such, I'm
know.
not really used to fighting.
Oh,
So
me neither. I only joined the army. I was in the army, but before that, I wasn't in active combat until the ones like this Arcadia broke out. So I had never fought another person.
I don't really know how to fight. I just like learning magic, and I didn't want to just be basically in training to make little knickknacks forever. And well, here I am.
Look, sometimes we decide, the path laid out for us, it's not what's right, and so we make the decision to leave,
And well, I'm happy I ended up in Paris. Didn't expect to get into this much adventure, but honestly, as scary as that was, and as awful as it turned out, it was exciting.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have the bug now. Well, you did great. It was scary. It is scary work, but you were fantastic.
Thank you. And
it's this value hard to disappear when the man attacked you with a knife. Very useful.
Yeah, I really like the sneaky parts ever since I was a kid.
Excellent. Well, it'll serve you well in this line of work, I'm sure.
We all have our, elements of magic that we enjoy. Gwen, as you know, loves to set things on fire.
Well, I do enjoy setting things on fire.
That's set on fire till then. And can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I can, to be honest. I do enjoy setting things on fire, but only really because it's our way of using what was used against us. I had an ancestor many decades ago, and my great-great-grandmother Althea was burnt at the stake for practicing her art by men, supposedly religious men.
It was more than likely men.
And she was a herbalist and a midwife, and was burnt at the stake. And so her daughter, my great-grandmother, swore to train up all the female members of her family to be powerful witches, so that something like that would never happen to us again. And so I use fire because that was where it all began for my family. It's something really sacred to us. It's powerful, and we're reclaiming it. And yeah, every time I use it, it feels amazing. And I am always more than happy to do damage to those who did it to us originally. And yeah, I could go on and on about this, but suffice it to say, there's a reason behind what we all do, but that's mine.
Well, I think our families might relate just a little bit there. My family kind of just sees our magic as this just a random blessing, either whether you see it as divine or not. And we don't really go around saying it's magic so much as, oh, we're blessed or touched or something, and just hidden off. But most of the magic that people really like is divination. So for me, all of this shadowy things in Twilight that I like, it's not the most popular, but I enjoy it.
It's fascinating, and we'll have to share some tips. I think the magic I use is probably a bit more earthy and less refined. And my great-grandmother, she collected magical spells from all over England, but they tend to use a lot more earthy physical items, I think, than like the high magic of sorcerers. But I would love to learn more about that. So we'll have to compare notes at some stage.
It would be cool if you could meet the witches that we have that are less popular, that are more of you hire to give curses and hexes. Those are not very well liked, but if you want something done, you go to that.
They are liked if people, they require their services. They won't want to admit it, but they do like them. They need them, I think.
I'll have to travel to your country one day, Farouz. It sounds amazing, not just for the food, but now to meet some of those kindred spirits. So
maybe for the food. Maybe for the food.
Well,
I might have something to do
for this trip, but honestly, I am in no rush to go back home.
Oh, I can relate to that feeling.
Well, we're glad you're here.
So am I. What are we doing with the items?
To be honest, I'm afraid she knows. I don't think we fully grasp exactly how powerful Madame Gaultier is. And I'm afraid she can read right through us, to be honest. So I would rather be honest with her, but I will bear to the group.
I have to say the fact that, when the men last night, they said, the job was more complicated. I do have to wonder, did Madame Gaultier know the Faymount was occupied? Is she going around robbing occupied Faymounts? This is something quite worrying. I know that you care for her, but I am not.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Her. I mean, do we have a reason?
I was wondering that too.
Oh, just
not necessarily.
Just that the Faymount was occupied. That is all. And I wonder, did she know?
I mean, it could be that they're returned because the Fey have been returning to the Trunky Forest. So maybe other
that
Fey
is a
think,
different situation. But
yeah, I know, but like after the war, maybe other Fey think like, let's go back and reclaim stuff. That can always happen.
And
but
we do know sometimes they do return too.
Yeah. But I'm also wondering. I'm also asking myself the same question.
Look, I confess I am very cynical, and I do not always think the best of people, so I admit that. So part of that is my own, I am.
Yeah, I know where you come from, Sylvia. I'm also actually asking the same. I'm wondering myself.
So just as a point of clarification, you all know artificers do it's a thing that they kind of will do sometimes if they can. They have been known to go into Fey mounds and Fey sites in which the Fey are living to steal their magical items so they can study them and learn from them.
Yeah.
It's one of these things that it's really dangerous, so they'll maybe hire some adventurers to do it for them. But there is also the thing that in France, as we all know, well, our viewers maybe not, when the French Revolution happened and the people turned on the human nobility, they then turned on the elven nobility. And the elven nobility fled France. Essentially, like, the elves are demigods effectively. But when you have a rabid mob of over 100 humans with firearms and barrels of gunpowder storming a castle so full of hate and anger they don't care, they can get through those defenses. And when the first elven palace was attacked and the elves were killed, that sent a shock through all of the elven nobility of France. They were like, this has never happened. But this was having just seen a couple of years of the human nobility being wiped out in a way that had sent shockwaves across all of Europe. So there are these abandoned elven palaces scattered around France, and people do sometimes go into them. Most of the time, they don't return. If they do, a lot of the time, they're broken and mad, but they do occasionally return with great wealth and treasure. So that's a thing that exists unique to France, because the elves that live in other parts of Europe, they don't, they're just like the elves in France, even other elves consider them to be like kind of like cheap, that they were spending all their time basically having sex with human nobles and having parties in Versailles and all this stuff. And like they were like you're more like humans than you are like Fey. So even when they fled to Arcadia, because Arcadia let them in, it was like, yeah, you kind of brought this on yourself. You'd lost your way as elves and as Fey. But so like maybe Madame Gaultier didn't genuinely know, and maybe this site had been abandoned, but then the Fae had returned, because that does sometimes happen.
Yeah.
Maybe she did know, but didn't think, but thought these guys could sneak in and get out, or maybe she's lying, or maybe she's lying to you all.
Yeah.
I
that's
mean,
it. That's
Gwyn
what
is
we're
obviously
going.
Gwyn is going to choose to believe her
Yeah,
until
no, yeah.
proven otherwise.
You worked with her for the longest. Like,
Yeah.
how you've been working for a couple of weeks with her,
A
Farouz?
little over a month, I think we'd said, wasn't it?
More than a month, right? So, what do you think? Having been working with her like day to day, really?
I mean, this is my impression, and Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fidders would say, I don't see a reason why she would, lie to us, or even if she was admitting something, I don't see a reason to assume the worst of her.
Mm.
If what she had done was shady, and we had gotten hurt, then, and she really was someone who was capable of something awful, then wouldn't it have been a clean break to pretend that she had nothing to do with us? Instead, she did send that to help us, and she also offered to make sure our name's not part of this. Well,
Yeah.
yes, we were sent there as part of, from her, but I don't have a reason to assume the worst of her.
Yeah.
I feel like at least even you guys, we've had a good relationship with her now. Why suddenly change now?
No,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
not changed. You are probably right. I am just very slow to.
And the other way to
Trust
look at
people,
it is, okay, let's take the worst. Maybe she did lie, maybe. But do we want to be the cause of this bad relationship?
No.
No.
We don't really have the reason to
No.
do that. Even if she never finds out, lying to her now means we sort of break the relationship.
Yeah, no, this is probably true.
Christine, what do you think?
Sorry, who? My connection broke. Me? Yeah, I was like, oh, what do you think? And I was like, who, me? But then I realized everyone else already spoken.
Yeah, I was just saying, what do you think, Justine?
Yeah, I think there is really no point for us to keep the items, really. We're risking more than we're potentially gaining.
Yeah, I agree.
That is actually true, yeah. I kind of wanted to know what we got, but
So it's
yeah.
at this point Aminata chimes in and says, well, I could always tell Madame Gaultier that I went back to the warehouse with my ring, slipped past any constables, had a look around in the debris, and found these items.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think honesty is our best policy
I'd
here. We
even
don't know
give up the spear, right? And I would just ask her, maybe I could lend it as long as I don't have Albert. Because to be honest with you all, once I have Albert back, because it'll take 2 weeks, wasn't it? Yeah. And once I have him back, I probably prefer, no, not probably, I pretty much will prefer to fight with Albert. Then the spear will be just lying in my goblin purse. But I'm just, I'm just eager to have a replacement in case we going somewhere.
Yeah.
And if I need a weapon. And I'm sure if I ask her, hey, would you mind lending me this? as long as my own weapon is being enchanted, I'm sure she wouldn't have anything against
No,
that, you know.
I think that is quite fair.
Yeah.
I think she would be happy enough to do that for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that the plan?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm happy enough with that. I mean, it was really weird business last night. I'm not too happy how that turned out, but yeah, we were attacked, so we were defending ourselves.
So does the group want to immediately, like now, go back to Madame Gaultier's shop with the new items and tell her, "Oh, we went back to the warehouse and we found these."
Yeah, I think Aminata saying she snuck in with the ring, that is actually, or we don't even have to tell her that she has the ring, but like I think that's an easy.
I'm pretty sure at this stage, Madame Gaultier knows that Aminata has the ability to turn invisible. She's used True Sight, and Aminata has
That's
been
true,
invisible.
actually. Yeah, she's been seen. So like that's it. Like she knows that she has this ability. It's quite plausible. So there you go.
Yeah, and as we get there, just out of curiosity and wanting to learn, Feiruz would try to note down whatever she can understand from the items in her notebook.
Well, Justine,
you can do that
Justine
even
can
before
tell
we.
Yeah, but it's just like a character moment of her learning.
Justine will be able to easily share what she learned from her casting of detect magic as well.
You don't even have to do it on the way. You can easily do that in the front room, and we'd all happily let you like have a look at everything, like, to make sketches and notes and God knows.
Super. Okay.
I'm picturing the cool notebook already.
So, all right. We say that you guys jump in a handsome cab and you all head back to Madame Gaultier's house, or not her house, her shop. When you get there, like between Feiruz coming with the breakfast, enjoying the fabulous breakfast, and then this conversation that you had over tea and coffee, it's probably like 11 at the at least 11, maybe a little after 11 by the time you get to Madame Gaultier's. But you get there, okay?
But that also makes sense if we're saying we went, or one of us or a few of us went back. Totally, that tracks. Yeah,
it all ties in lovely. So you get there and the bell rings as you go through into the shop. There's nobody there. The shop seems empty. But a moment later, she walks through a door from the back and she says, bon matin. Good morning to you all. How are we all doing, my dears?
Better after a night's sleep.
Of course. You're all looking much fresher today.
And how about you? How are you tonight?
I'm fabulous as always, my darling.
Well, thank you again for sending your courage to get us out. That was very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah. So we have some good news.
Wow.
And Aminata was able to slip back and procure whatever items we couldn't yesterday.
So at this stage, Aminata was just explaining, yes, we did think about it, so I went back to the warehouse. There was one or two constables still there, so I slipped on. I was able to get past them with my abilities. Rummaging through the rubble, I found these items, and we're pretty confident these must have been enchanted items. The fact that they survived the inferno caused by Gwyn, and we wanted to get them back to you immediately. So, can someone please roll deception for Aminata? Who would like to do that?
No, chronic single-digit roller over here. Absolutely not.
No, I roll.
So, Feiruz, are you doing it? Okay. Well,
yeah, go on.
Aminata is quite good at lying, so she actually gets a +7 to the roll. Okay, +7.
Wow.
Between her charm, her deception talent, and her wordsmith rogue skill, she has got quite the gift of the gab. Remember, she's
don't forget to have the inspiration.
Feiruz is inspiration, not Aminata.
True, not Aminata.
Oh, right.
Okay. No problem. So +7, you said?
Yes.
Bloody hell, that's quite good.
That is. I rolled a 13.
Oh, actually,
so
wait, hold on. Apologies, 1 second.
30, 20.
No, wait. Yeah, an additional +2. It's actually +9.
yeah,
22.
So
that's a 22.
22. Okay.
Why do we trust this person? She could be totally lying to us.
I know, right? +7, +9. Holy moly.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Wish I didn't know that, to be honest.
Okay, so
I already know she's shady as hell. Anyway.
Madame Gaultier.
Not her, I'm a ninja.
So Madame Gaultier, she kind of like, you see her eyes flicker a little bit at the as Amina says, just a slight flicker of her eyes says, "Well, thank you very much. That's so kind of you. I'm so excited to see the items." And you give to her the spear, the boots, and the ring of hearts bond. Yes.
I'd like to understand the slight flicker.
You can give me an awareness roll.
I only have a +1, but I'll try.
When do you want to tell her about the mana receptacle and ask her if you can keep it?
Yeah.
Go on then. You have it, so if you want to let it out.
Cruz.
14.
You're not sure. You think maybe there's a chance Madame Gaultier saw through Amanada's bullshit.
But listen, if she did, we are giving her stuff, so come on.
Yeah,
We are.
You're thinking shit.
Even if we have to save face with it, like, come on, we are still we're still giving her the stuff. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Gwyn, you also show her the mana receptacle, yes?
Yes. And I'm going to ask her if I can keep it because I've always wanted one.
So, wait, this was a personal item of one of the men you killed.
Oh, was
we
it?
may have looted their bodies.
Yeah.
That's,
there you go. You can say that.
My darling, consider it a trophy. Consider it a
Thank
trophy.
you so much, my dear.
Of course, my dear. There is an intense energy between these two women, okay? So you lay down the islands and she gestures, not gestures, this time she pulls out from inside the folds of her fabulous dress. Now it's a day dress, it's not a ball gown, but it's still a fabulous day dress, okay?
Like, Mina is so jealous. I mean, like, even though she likes fighting and stuff, she also likes pretty dresses and pretty things. And she's just like, oh, damn, I could never pull anything like this off. And she's really jealous.
If you want to know what this NPC looks like, just pull up a picture of the British actress Hannah Waddingham. That is basically who she is, okay? She is that gorgeous woman, okay? She's one of the most beautiful women, certainly at that age, okay? So that is exactly who she is. So it's the same pair of glasses. Now, Feyruz, you actually do know what these are. These are called artificer's glasses, and they are simply glasses that have been enchanted by an artificer. They have effectively a detect magic enchantment in them, and also cool magnifying abilities as well. So an artificer, when looking at an item that they think is magical, they can literally see the enchantments in the item, okay? She's like, oh,
nice.
Goblin boots, I see. Oh, these are quite lovely. These rings of hearts bond.
Yeah. As she's looking at the rings, I want to use my lesser telepathy with Gwyn and just say, well, maybe you can share that.
Shut up! And Gwyn just goes really red and pretends to turn around and look at something on a shelf.
Sylvia has obviously picked up on this. Just like.
So, and then she looks at this princess. Oh, this is.
Why are you blushing all of a sudden, my dear?
Mina, my dear, this spear is.
Gwyn just elbows you in the room.
And Madame Gaultier sees this exchange between you all.
She turns a second and she sees Gwyn blushing and Feyruz just like silently snickering.
Oh my god, Gwyn is disgusted by this, by the way. She tries to remain cool in front of Madame Gaultier at all times.
Listen, Mina, obviously everything goes over her head. She just sees you blushing like, why are you blushing? What's going on?
Sylvia is amused but also a little bit sad because these would have been nice in another life.
Yeah.
Yes, these would have.
Oh well.
So, and I'm not even going to let you give me a resolve roll to try and keep your cool in front of Madame Gaultier.
No,
She sees
I
right through you, Gwyn. So holding up the spear now, she says, Mina, this spear's actually got a similar enchantment to what you were wishing for your halberd.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was from the Fey Mount or if it was like the guy's personal or one of the guy's personal item. But I prefer my halberd, but it's gonna take 2 weeks if I could borrow it for the 2 weeks, or if you send us somewhere, or in case we need
Well,
it. Would be nice to have a weapon as long as mine is being enchanted.
if you
Once I have mine back, to be honest, I prefer to use my halberd rather than the spear. So
I could use this spear to aid me in
really,
enchanting your halberd.
no, okay, like copying the enchantment kind of a thing, is it? Or how
Merging
does that
I
work?
could merge the weapons.
Oh,
So,
really?
Fairuz, when you hear this,
Wow.
you're like, holy shit, this woman is like epic tier level artificer. I knew I was working for somebody who was good. I did not know she was this good.
Yeah.
So merging the weapons, you say, that sounds very interesting.
Yes, it would greatly speed up the process, and I would be able to
Really?
charge a bit less. How much did I say it would cost before?
150.
I could probably do it all for 100 now.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Yeah, yeah. Because we exchanged the one of the necklaces or one of the jewelry pieces for that.
Well, you could keep the other 50 as store credit if you would like, because I'm sure you'll be looking to
Yeah,
get
that'd be
items
brilliant.
again.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely get more
Absolutely.
things. And
Absolutely.
if we could use it as because it was a group thing and the group decided to upgrade
Of
the
course,
halberd.
of
If
course, of course.
anybody wants something, I think if we put it on the group
Of course, of course,
and
of course.
anyone can use it, I'd be so happy with that. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
But if you're willing to part with the spear, because that could easily have come from the Feynman, I honestly don't know.
I mean, these items are quite wonderful. This kind of an item, these kind of anachronistic weapons, while favored by the Fey, are not it's only really collectors would have an interest in an item like this.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
And
interesting.
while I could make a considerable amount of money from an item like this, if at auction to collectors, your group has proven themselves to be extremely useful to me. And in the long run, I think it would be a far better investment for me if I more quickly aided you with an enchantment to your delightful polar.
Well, thank you. If you're willing to do that, I'd be absolutely delighted. I'm just find it really fascinating that you can do that. That you can that is amazing.
Much of what we do as artificers is related to the science of alchemy, which is the transmutation of objects.
Very
I
interesting indeed. Yeah.
do, however, have one demand. The halberd, please.
Oh, I've left it with her.
No, because you had
It's already in your shop.
No, because you had originally gone to it when she said it was 2 weeks. You were like, "Oh, I'll hold on to it because I'll actually need it for this
Yeah,
job."
but that was to go into the goblin's house, and then after we went back, I left it
I
there.
thought you'd kept it for the
No,
other
no, I
stuff.
left it there. Yeah. No. I went into
Okay, I was.
that guy in the warehouse with no fucking halberd on me. So if you were playing with it, that's wrong.
Okay, I was sure.
I didn't know
If you were
that.
using that, that's wrong. I was actually thinking, fuck, if we have a fight, I don't have halberd.
Well, you are a highly trained pugilist, in fairness. Okay, so
I
anyway,
am a highly trained pugilist,
right.
absolutely.
So she does that.
But
For
that's
you.
why as soon as I saw the spear, I was like,
All
oh,
right.
I need it. Like, my fingers are itching.
So she says she does thank you greatly for these other items that you so generously gave them to her, and she does tell you, Gwyn, to please enjoy your trophy of the mana receptacle.
I will.
It will be very useful to you.
Thanks. Yes.
And she says she may have some work for you in a few days, perhaps. She is.
Excellent. I was actually going to ask if you had anything lined up.
I'm researching some other sites. I'm making certain that my sources are accurate as to the habitation of these sites, their occupation. Exactly, Mina. Yes.
Good.
We do not want to have any mistakes. We do not want to be offending any fey creatures and making them angry with us. But yes,
Absolutely.
most certainly. But yes, I will be in touch with you in a few days, certainly.
Excellent.
Well, thank you, madam.
Okay. So, you guys go to leave the shop. What's the plan? Are you all going to leave, or do different people have different errands they maybe would wish to run?
Yeah, Mina's just gonna take her leave and tell the people, like, listen, guys, I just kind of need to clear my head after this whole thing, and I just gonna take a wander around if you don't mind. Yeah, and you guys know I can look after myself, and I'll just take a cab home.
Okay. Mind yourself.
And I'm wandering off.
Okay, all right. Anybody else doing anything, or the rest of you is planning on heading back to Amanada's? I will say this, that we have our 4 spellcasters here. Sylvia, Gwyn, you do need to spend some time meditating for your spells, and our 2 sorcerers need to do arcane research to get their spells to activate Books of Shadows.
Mishap.
We always want to miss that.
Will we say that the spellcasters go back to Amanada's house? So, Feruz, maybe you go back to your rooms.
Sylvia would only be doing stuff like checking her arcanagram.
Exactly. Okay, so you all
and
guys
start reading your book.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that today because I have to meditate today, so I want to use as much time. So I have as much free time.
The meditation will take you 6 hours. It's 1 hour per spell level. So for each of you, it's 1 hour per spell level. So it'll be 6 hours of meditation and 6 hours of arcane research.
Oh yes, no, I know.
It's still that long now.
Yeah. So Mina, the part of the departs, you go a wandering. You've already been taking some wandering around, getting to know the city, and going to some of the less reputable, some of the less safe parts of the city. In your travels, in your endeavors, looking around. And you did get told that there was somebody that you might be able to talk to in a particular tavern, in a particularly disreputable part of Paris. So you heading in that direction. It's at this stage between getting to Madame Gaultier's and then finishing is probably about like 1ish. So it's getting into the afternoon. You head to the tavern. Okay, you get there. You don't take a cab. You walk because cabs don't really like to go into that part of the city. All right. It's more towards the edge. There's a lot of tenements around, and you get to this tavern. It's a small little tavern. It's dingy. There is a sign. You can't read the paint on it. It's been faded for years, but this is the location that you were told. Going inside, it's poorly lit. There's no fairy globes or anything like that. It's oil lamps leaving soot marks on the walls. There's a smell of urine and feces of some mammal. There's a grotty looking guy behind the bar. As he sees you, he kind of looks at you as like, women do not come in here. And well, some women do, but they don't look like you. They're a certain type of woman who's lived a very difficult life to come into this establishment.
Good thing I'm not wearing my skirts, I'm wearing my pants.
Yes. So as you walk up to the bar, it says, bonjour.
Bonjour. I was told to talk to you about certain unsanctioned activities of a fighting nature.
He looks very surprised. This is the last thing he was expecting to come out of your mouth. Sorry, did I hear that correctly, Mademoiselle?
Absolutely. If
Andre,
you want to, even
no,
I'm
no, no, no.
a fighter, and if you want proof,
No, no, no.
I can happily demonstrate.
Andre, Andre, and he's shouting out, and you hear some footsteps, and coming from a little door out into a side room, this guy walks into you now. He looks to be in his like mid-30s, average height, kind of auburn hair, kind of longish, wavy. He's got a mustache and like handlebar mustache that comes up into mustachios. He's like, you know, he's one of these guys he's clearly from he's clearly someone who's had a rough life. You know, he's wearing okay clothes. Like, he's better dressed than the barman. And he's wearing the kind of clothing of somebody who does not come from a lot of money, but they try to use what little they have to make themselves look more respectable. And he goes,
Fair. That's I respect that.
Andre, this Mademoiselle she wants to talk to you. And he looks at the bar. Andre looks at the barman, looks at you, looks back at the barman, looks back at you. D'accord? 2 pints of your piss, mon ami. And the guy pours 2 pints, hands them to him, and he gestures to a little table.
Yep. I grab my drink and follow him.
So, Mademoiselle, what can I help you with?
Well, I heard that there is, if I'm interested in doing some fighting of the more unsanctioned nature, I should talk to. I should come here and talk to people here.
I'll be blunt. A petite mademoiselle like yourself is not the kind of people that you are. And this is the thing. Mina is tiny.
That triggers me.
She's tiny. She is tiny. What is it we said you were? Like 153 or something crazy like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she is tiny. So,
and she heard that all her life, and she's really like trying to pull it back. Like she's like,
I will be blunt.
I'm getting serious. Fucking.
I will be blunt.
Edward Elric.
I organize entertainment for the wealthier members of society, but it is
I understand.
entertainment that is enjoyed because it is dangerous for those who participate. Very dangerous.
Oh yeah, I understand.
And you are a very, very petite young woman.
I understand. I've also fought giants and ogres and Lukaku and Lugaru and yeah, amongst other things.
Where is it you are from?
I'm Swiss, monsieur.
Ah, that's the accent. I thought you might be Bavarian or something. I wasn't sure. It was like
That's close enough.
Oh, okay. So you were Swiss. The Swiss are good fighters. Okay. Okay. And you can see.
And I was trained by the best.
Okay. The fact that you've told them that you're Swiss is actually completely flipping, because the Swiss have a reputation. The Swiss is where the giant fighters come from. Okay, specialist mercenaries who specifically train to fight giants and trolls and ogres. So the fact you've told them you're Swiss, that's flipped his perception of you immediately, okay? This is a guy who's clearly not an idiot. He's actually clearly someone, like, you're talking to, you can see this guy's actually pretty fucking intelligent, okay? He's not going to just automatically make the mistake of assumptions based on appearance.
Yeah. Like when to be honest, Mina is very impressed when he said, oh, I thought you were Bavarian or something, or Austrian or something. She's quite okay. I'm impressed that somebody from the streets in Paris will kind of recognize.
The Swiss German accent would be closer to the Bavarian or Austrian than it would be to like Berlin or Nuremberg or anywhere like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
So so he's clearly a guy who knows a bit about the world. Okay, d'accord. Well, we do have some entertainment arranged for this Friday evening. If you would like to participate, there is of course a kitty on each of our shows. The participants, they get a cut naturally, and All I will say is each show does go on for some time. They're not quick. We don't want them quick. We don't want them done in 2 or 3 punches. It's all about putting on the show. The longer the show goes on, the greater the kitty grows, and the more of a cut that you would get from that, mademoiselle. If you are,
I understand.
if
That
you
is
are interested. Now, naturellement, it is barehanded, as the gods brought us into this earth.
barehanded, I hope, yeah, and not anything else there.
No. So, if you are interested, come to Notre Dame on Friday night. Be there at 9 o'clock. One of my men will be given your description, and he will lead you to our venue of wonder.
That sounds perfect.
Well, I very much look forward to seeing your show. My name is Andre Auclair, and he reaches out a hand.
I reach my hand and shake his and say, Mina Twisik.
Okay, and he gives you a proper shake. It's not one of these. It's not.
Oh, and I give him a proper kind of.
But it's like, it's not one of these limp things. But it's also not one of these. Oh, delicate, you're a lady. Like, he's giving you a proper. He's a proper shake.
Yeah, and I properly shake and grab his hand like properly as well. Like, really kind of give it a good squeeze, you know.
Okay. Yeah. So, right. Well, having arranged for some activities this Friday that only you know of course. The rest of the party are the first rule about Fight Club. Our spellcasters busy with their work, learning their new spells to add to their Book of Shadows, and hopefully you will get your halberd back soon enough with this enchantment and maybe another job for Madame Gaultier. I think this is a perfect place to pause in our story. So, thank you everybody for a wonderful evening. We hope you had as much fun as we did. And be sure to be following us on the socials. We're still active on Twitter. While there is a Twitter, screw Muskie, I will not call it anything but Twitter. We're also on Blue Sky. You can find us on YouTube. We do have a Discord. There's links in the chat, and you can get links to them on our socials as well. There's really fun. It's a small but growing Discord full of nerds, especially nerds who love their folklore. But apart from that, I'm going to say good night all, and we shall see you all again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.